Man, look at this team. We're gonna do great. I didn't get it. What did he say about my mother?
Trust me, kid. You don't want to know.
I really like Bastion when he works. He's a really fun and unique DPS hero when he actually works. Yeah, you were probably expecting this kind of intro. Like a year ago, my plan was to really praise Bastion being this really fun hero that is blessed to play as. But now, I think he's this Schrödinger of a hero who deals lots of damage with his abilities, but not enough to actually kill anybody. Now, this is the second video in the Hero Spotlight series, so if you want more context on what I'm going to talk about here, go watch the Winston video, as it's the only video where I'll be very positive about a hero. Now, please note that I am a casual, so if I get things wrong, please be kind to me, as I should want to talk about this silly robot. And I kind of don't want this video to be too long, so I'll just do a quick recap of Bastion's lore, my time playing him, and his abilities. Bastion E54 is a robot unit that was notorious in the Omni Crisis, but this Bastion woke up in a forest, decided to fuck around a bit, was found by Torbjörn and now is part of Overwatch. I always somewhat liked Bastion even in Overwatch 1, but he was too niche pick, but since he got that rework I really wanted to play him more. So I did. I actually improved quite a bit, but since I stopped playing after Invasion, coming back to play him was difficult. So I decided to go back to Winston, as is always good, and the only good part about this game other than the huge amount of porn. Let's take a look at his abilities. He has 250 health and 100 armor, making his total HP 350. His weapon is Configuration Recon, deals 25 damage per bullet, shoots 5 rounds per second, has clip size of 25 and reload time of 1.2 seconds. This weapon also has no spread, so it's good at longer ranges, but he also has damage fall off, so his lowest damage is 7.5, but his headshot damage is 50 per bullet. He then has A36 tactical grenade, which has 8 second cooldown and deals 15 damage when it lands on the enemy and 150 from the explosion that covers 4 meters. You can also use it to grenade jump to other locations. Then for his signature ability, he has Configuration Assault, where he transforms into a tank for 6 seconds and uses the big ass chain gun on his back, which then has 12 second cooldown. He deals 12 damage per second at close range, but only 3.6 at longer ranges, and you can headshot with this ability. You then shoot 30 bullets per second, have infinite ammo but move 35% slower, and then you have 20% damage resistance passive when you're in this mode. For his ultimate ability, you have Configuration Artillery. You become immobile and can shoot 3 artillery shells to your preferred locations. It deals 550 at its center, 250 to 200 at its inner ring, and 200 to 0 at outer ring. This ultimate ends after 8 seconds or when you have shot all 3 shells. Now, before I talk about his problems, I want to mention some things that I really like about him. I really like him being this absolute menace that threats enemies, especially tanks if they get cocky in his assault form. His rework transformed him into a more active and fun hero, especially being able to move around with his turret form. I have seen lots of people want him to go back to how he used to work, but in a game of Overwatch where there's constant mobility, standing in one place is a dead fish. So being able to move around in the turret form is much better, and it's more fun to roll out with your team in attack and threat your foes. And if you really miss that OG Bastion experience, Brass Beast Heavy offers similar experience. His grenade is one of my favorite abilities in the entire game, as it's so much fun to use, and please excuse me, but I'll marry this ability right now. It not only deals lots of damage when it lands on an enemy, it also ricochets off surfaces, so even if you miss, there's a chance that it can bounce off a wall and stick to the enemy after a while to deal that 300 damage. It also allows you to grenade jump to reach places that were inaccessible to you before, and allow you to make cool plays as well, as you can shoot the ground and then transform into the death machine. I absolutely love his primary weapon, as back then the weapon spread made it kind of ineffective at certain distances, but since they removed it, it allows you to become a pseudo sniper and can pick off squishes of a healthy distance. Sure, it shoots a lot slower, but because you deal more damage and don't have to worry about spread fucking you over, I say this is a good deal. I love his design and personality. He's really boxy and very easy on the eye, and that hat he has is just perfect addition, and I really like how innocent Bastion is, even though he probably committed multiple war crimes, and that little bird named Ganymede that follows him is just another cute addition to him, as who doesn't love birds. But as much I love Bastion and mostly everything about his kit, he's so fucking hard to play nowadays and he's in pretty awkward position. Bastion deals shit ton of damage with his abilities, but really struggles to finish them off, which is rather odd as you think a powerful submachine gun, chain gun, grenade and a fucking artillery will mean he will be able to kill enemies with no issue, but funnily enough, the only hero that dies often is the Bastion himself. He got a few nerfs that made him worse than he was at launch, like removing the 50 armor repair buff he received, lowering grenades impact damage from 30 to 15, assault smoke's cooldown increases from 10 to 12 and spread being 10% wider. He can be rather oppressive against tanks as Bastion is a tank buster hero and having only one tank in the game doesn't really make it fun for them, as we already hate our lives, especially if I need to switch off from Winston when there is that fucking Mauga in the field. So after those nerfs and buffs to the tanks overall has made Bastion just worse at killing them. So what about squeezes? How well he does against them? Sure, you can deal with a few of the heroes with your abilities pretty fine, but that spread increase for assault use means more of your bullets are missing the target, and that grenade nerf use made it overall worse to deal enough damage to finish off a 250 HP hero. So let's actually talk about the heroes he does well against and those that will make you switch. The heroes he does well against in tank role are heroes like Winston, Reinhardt, Doomfist and Roadhog because they mainly can't eat your bullets and approach you safely. Unless Reinhardt charges at you, Winston jumps away, Doomfist eats your bullets and then slams away, or Roadhog uses his vape. For DPS with his primary, he is pretty decent at picking most heroes off, but if you choose to transform, then most of them have many ways to escape or deal with him, like with dash, translocator, blink or just running away. You move pretty slow and even slower in the assault mode, so you really can't catch up with the enemies if they decide to retreat. And for support heroes, forget even being able to fucking kill them, as many of them have abilities to get away or even deal with you. Like with immortality, this means you don't get to damage them back and can just ruin your day and Anna can just put you to sleep. Maybe you have decent time with Brigitte and Wife Beater because they're fairly big targets, but even they have ways to escape from you. After those nerfs, he has just been pretty bad. But yeah, I get it, Bastion needed a nerf after surviving too often and being incredibly oppressive to go against. But this is rather weird double standards, as heroes like Sosun was incredibly overpowered as she could one-shot squeezes with the help of Mercy, and it took them almost 2 years to make her not a top pick. Not to mention, whenever they nerfed her, they kept giving her compensation buffs where they made her even more busted. How about Ashe, who is in every single game and constantly keeps getting buffed? Where were the compensation buffs for Bastion when they decided to nerf him? So Bastion has been really bad since Season 7, which, you know, is fine, sure, let him be a bad hero for the enjoyment of the majority. But let me ask, why the fuck is Widowmaker, Sombra and Para still viable? Widowmaker is no fun to go against, as being one-shot across the map is bullshit. Sombra and Para were supposed to be nerfed, but they got compensation buffs which actually made them better. Sombra is a fucking pain in the ass to deal with, and this dev team buffs her stealth and damage? Are you people insane? And Para. Oh boy, I absolutely love Para. So not only they made her more agile and powerful with her rework, but buffed her concussion blast with the supposed nerfs she received. I know technically Bastion is supposed to be a counter to her, but he's a massive hero and if the Para has a pocket mercy, you will not take her down. And while I recorded my gameplay footage, Para kept solo ulting me, so if you are a Para main, I just want to say, you're a piece of kitten kicking baby's candy stealing mother idolizers, mercy's eager and worst of all, a pain in my. So ultimately, what really makes Bastion hard to play is Season 9 changes, everyone having some ways to deal with him, the rework he received at the start of Overwatch 2 and his huge size. Season 9 increased everyone's HP and hitboxes, meaning that Bastion could previously deal with 200 HP heroes effectively, but because everyone's HP got increased to 250, some even going to 300, and his grenade received the impact nerf, it just means that more often than not they survive your attacks. Plus, like I mentioned earlier, most heroes got ways to deal with him effectively, like D.Va and Sigma tend to be your biggest counters, as they can delete your bullets, and most hitscan heroes can abuse your big ass hitbox, and support heroes use heal too much, so you really won't be able to out damage the constant burst healing. Plus there's always immortality, which you know is fun. Then we get cases where Mauga is able to fucking decimate him even when Bastion has all the damage amplifications in the game. And this happened as soon as he received his Bumblebee skin, so great timing there you guys. And I mentioned about his hitbox being big, but this is rather ridiculous because if I'm able to damage Bastion without even needing to have my crosshair on him, don't you people think that should be addressed? Like the season 9 changes did not benefit him at all and overall makes him pretty miserable to play as. Then as much I love the rework, being able to move while in turn mode and marrying to his grenade, his ultimate is absolute arse. Like the tank mode was so much better, it was deadly and most importantly, more fun. Now you have 3 Doomfist ultimates and that ultimate already is bad, so giving him 3 of them doesn't make him any good. It's rare to get a kill with this thing, let alone 2, and I will always celebrate if I manage to get someone with it. And there is a reason why DPS heroes that have big hitbox tend to have some kind of healing ability, as Bastion could back then survive better and not be too dependent on his supports with his self-repair ability. Now if your supports ignore you, you might as well switch to another hero because you will not stay alive and essentially throw the game. So I guess I have rambled long enough, so let me make a TLDR of the issues he has. Number 1, Assault mode can be too oppressive against tanks, so it's mainly the reason why Bastion won't be buffed. Number 2, he has low survivability with his big hitbox and lack of self-healing. Number 3, people are harder to kill due to season 9 health increase and overall with too much healing. Number 4, there are many abilities that just counter you and assault mode, so having a good match with him is like a wet dream. So I want to propose some ideas on how to make him better. The first suggestion is to make him how he functions at the start of the game, and just leave him at that state. He is able to deal with squishes better as his grenade is more powerful and that will be fine with me. The second one is an overall rework. I talk about this for quite a long and I was going to suggest making assault mode fires lower but being more accurate like Heavy has with Tomislav in TF2, but his primary already does that, so lower the damage about 25%. But make the spray 20% tighter and allow him to headshot. Then make him move faster in the assault form, like a 15% movement speed bonus, like imagine how terrifying that will be if you saw a fast assault tank moving around. I will as well reduce the cooldown, maybe to 8 seconds. Then we bring him back self-repair on his right click and move the grenade to E and make it so it doesn't deal damage to you so you can more freely jump around. For his ultimate we bring back his configuration tank ability. Imagine how satisfying it will be to push an enemy into V with your grenade and then shooting them with a bigger explosive. Then we reduce his hitbox size and this will be more ideal rework. But I got a third suggestion too, a wildcard. We all know Bastion is big and has lots of HP, so why not just turn him into a tank? Make it so his assault mode can be toggled on more often like Ramatra has with his Nemesis mode, but now it gets that beta shield. But obviously he so still moves slowly and lose some of his damage, so lower his recon damage by 10%, assault 20% and grenade by 15%. Then add the self-repair ability, tank ultimate increases health pool and it will be quite an interesting as we could have a tank hero that turns into an actual tank. And add this design idea where his shoulder blades go to the side instead of staying upright and there we go. That's my personal ideas on how to make Bastion better. I kind of hate how this video turned so negative, but I really like Bastion and just want him to be better. I don't want him to be a broken meta option, as I do want to play Winston as well, but I just want him to have his moments and not get countered by so many heroes. Some of the problems Bastion has is also shared with most of the DPS heroes, as the rampant healing, unkillable tanks and immortalities is making it hard to really kill anyone in the game, and seeing how the dev team has no idea how to balance their game, I doubt that it will be fixed anytime soon. One can remain hopeful, but I cannot doubt we will see any Bastion buff as they have left some other fan favorite heroes like Genji and Hanzo in the dust. But I have rambled long enough, so like I said at the start, please be kind to me if I got things wrong. I mainly play the game casually and wanted to share some of my frustrations with the state of my favorite robot. Kiriko's video will probably come at a later date, as I'm not exactly sure how to express my thoughts without angering her player base, so I have to carefully choose my words. But that's all for today. Like the video if you enjoyed it, do make sure to comment down below your own thoughts, but please keep it civil and respectful. Subscribe for more potential Overwatch discussions and have a nice day. Man, that Bastion is really carrying us.
Huh? What is this I'm saying? Bastion be viable? That is unacceptable. I'll have to remove him from the game now. Now that the issue is fixed, it's time to buff Sombra more and release 50,000 Mercy and Kiriko skins.
What just happened?